Here are ways that anime and manga/anime and manga culture could get completely annihilated. While anime is more popular now in the 2020s than it ever was, it's still relatively niche. The vast majority of shows cannot be watched through legal means. Or, if they can, the only way to watch them legally is something extremely inconvenient. You want to watch the 1997 Speed Racer, the complete series in Japanese, legally? Sorry, you have to spend hundreds of dollars on a giant head.
Time to sail the seven seas.
The only real streaming platform for anime is Crunchyroll, and it's not very good. They used to have Initial D, but then they took it off because it was part of the Funimation library, and Crunchyroll acquired Funimation, but then they shut down Funimation, and so anything they had the rights to is gone. Crunchyroll and other official licensed websites are badly designed and don't function very well, while the RR websites are well designed and function extremely well. And they have a large catalog of anime, including anime that haven't received official subtitles yet, but have from fans. But those sites are getting shut down by lawsuits, and that means that a lot of anime is being erased from existence. I don't approve of stealing, I don't approve of breaking the law, but the official licenses companies, bigwigs, aren't taking care of the media. The fans are. The fans actually care about the shows and want to preserve them. That's why these websites exist. What makes it even funnier is Crunchyroll started out as an RR website before becoming a legitimate website. So the first danger to anime is it could be destroyed in the West, could be destroyed in America via a tangled web of copyright mumbo jumbo. Face it, Hollywood only wants you watching Hollywood movies. They'll do everything, if they had the power, they'd do everything they could to stop you from watching anything foreign. They want you to be a consumer, they want you to subscribe to their services and only watch their stuff, and if they did have anime, it would be filtered through a sieve of you only get a certain amount of shows and they're all dubbed in English or they're subtitled by some woke localizer who inserts their political stuff in there that wasn't even there to begin with. A lot of people in the older generation especially don't understand what anime and manga are. They assume it's cartoons for kids, and then they get mad when it's not appropriate for kids. I was in the thrift store the other day, and I was in the kids' book section, and I saw a manga. I looked at it. I don't think it was anything graphic, but it said on the back, for teenagers. T for teen. Not for kids, but for teenagers. It belongs in the teen reading section, but it was in the kids section because it's a picture book. It's a comic book. It's for kids. But it wasn't. It was for teenagers. At least it wasn't for adults. Oh boy, that would have been bad. But I've heard of that happening. Oh, edit. Since I first made this video, I did in fact find one that was for adults in the kids section. It wasn't porn, but it was not for kids at all. Yeah, it was in the kids section of Goodwill. And I've heard stories of people who work at the thrift store having to put up with coworkers who are ignorant, usually older people who don't understand anime, accidentally putting DVDs or VHS tapes of you-know-what in the kids section. Because all they see is there's cartoon characters on the cover, but they have no idea what the cartoon's about. This is a ticking time bomb for some unsuspecting Karen to purchase it for her children and then be shocked as to what's in it, and then get mad at the Japanese people for grooming her children. When actually, the fault is on ignorant Americans not paying attention to what they're buying. I once saw a clip of a Mexican lady, a TV host, showing really nasty manga on live TV for shock value to try to say this is what they're targeting children with. And what she had in her hand was a fan-made comic of Sailor Moon. It wasn't even the real Sailor Moon manga. It was nasty, and I will not show it because, for obvious reasons, but she was implying that Sailor Moon was porn. But Sailor Moon is not porn. Now, I don't like Sailor Moon because there are things in it that I don't approve of, but it's not porn. It's just a manga about a group of girls with magical powers, or what they call magic girl, mahou shoujo, which is not the same thing as a witch, that's majo. It's basically a superhero kind of a thing, as far as what I understand about the genre, because I'm not really a fan of the genre. But that Mexican lady I was talking about seemed to imply that Japan is targeting children in Mexico and children in the United States with pornography, as if that's what all anime and manga is. And as if to say that just because something is drawn, it's automatically targeted to children. The American Heritage Dictionary defines anime as this, when in actuality, anime refers to a format, not a style. Nor does anime refer to the types of content. This definition was written by people who don't watch anime, people who have only seen it from the outside. Then if it comes to the point where people start thinking that all manga is nasty, pretty soon they'll try to ban manga from bookstores, manga from libraries, and then they'll have bonfires dedicated to manga they never read because they don't have time to read it all because it's probably all degenerate Japanese trash anyway. They don't want to bother to look for good stuff because it's strange and foreign to them. They don't want to take the time. So they just blanket ban it because they're scared. We don't have time for manga or anime. All we need to watch is Waltons and Hallmark movies and football and Duck Dynasty, and the only thing you're allowed to read is Garfield and Chicken Soup for the Soul. None of those Chinese devil cartoons. So the other way that anime and manga culture could be completely destroyed would be from a moral panic. Oh, and the third way it could be destroyed is from all the AI slop and AI-generated media replacing normal media. But that's not just a threat to anime and manga, that's a threat to all media. And I am staunchly against that. I believe that media should be made by us humans, by our talents. It should be made through our talents, it should be made by real creators. But I made this video before the Ghibli thing happened. So that's why I didn't talk about it.